Bridgestone GR86 coming up. Slather up, make sure you've got plenty of sunscreen on and get ready for some more great racing. It's been a great weekend, beautiful weather here in the summer of New Zealand. And here we are at Hampton Downs. Slight breeze, which is helping actually, as out come the 86ers, and who better than Ronan Murphy to take us around this famous track.
So we're looking down towards turn 1, 2. They're going to be the best probably passing opportunities at this circuit here. Obviously turn 10 as well is going to be one that we keep an eye on as well. Obviously leading on to the big front straight there, Jonathan. But the diff is also going to be a place. Turn 9 is going to be an interesting one as well. We saw a couple of people looking for moves down there. But I think turn 1 and 2 are going to be our hotspots today for this final race.
And as always in 86 racing, you've raced these cars. They are so hard to overtake in. And you've got a combination of trying to pass, but also trying to stay in contention. Cameron Hill starts pole position for this one. Emerson Vincent, already a winner this season, second. Cooper Barnes, third. Josh Bethune in fourth. We're going to talk more about that. Hugo Allen, our championship leader, starts fifth, and Simon Hunter, the master, starts in sixth. Then seventh, Lachlan Evanett got a win already today. Mason Potter alongside him in eighth. Ninth is Baccaroos. Hayden Lyons, 10th. Then Harry Townsend on the podium yesterday, 11th. Chris White, 12th. Arthur Braun in 13th position. Justin Allen, another one of the previous winners this season, in 14th. AJ Giddy, the youngster, in 15th. And Zach Blinko, 16th. He had a problem last time out. And further down, Blake Knowles. Buckley Alice starts 20th. Thomas Mallard, Raymond Mallin, Will Morton and Caleb Byers, 24th. Further down, John Penny, 25th. And Christina Orr-West in 26th place. Now, Ronan, I know you're excited by this one because M2 are really vying for a big result here.
Yeah, the right carts by M2 competition team, Jonathan. They've got 3 cars in the top 4. So Cameron Hill's obviously off the pole. Cooper Barnes there, the Australian, there in third, and Josh Bethune, who's been pretty hot all weekend, he's there in fourth. So it's certainly shaping up to be a good one. Emerson Vincent splits those 3 cars in second for Action Motorsport there on the grid. And obviously the way they sort this grid for the final race is determined by your 2 fastest lap times or your fastest lap time from race 1, fastest lap time from race 2, then averaged out, and then that's what sets the grid for the final race. So it's going to be an interesting one. We've also got a couple of notables. Hugo Allen, obviously our championship leader. He's off P5. And Simon Hunter, driving for Racelab Academy. He's there on the grid in 6th. And from what I've heard, they actually had an engine change last night. So he's sort of had a new lease on life a bit with that car. He was feeling really good this morning, and he's excited about this one to be starting off the 3rd row of the grid to see what he can do.
Quick chat about Emerson Vincent. I said they're already a winner, but guess who he's got in his corner of all people? I bumped into him today, and that's Liam Lawson. He's watching from the sidelines and has been trying to help him out, the youngster. So not a bad guy to have in your corner. The latest Red Bull Formula One teammate to Max Verstappen. On go the lights. Out they go, and away we go. Cameron Hill gets away well. Jostling for position for the first right-hander. Hill, Vincent and Barnes. Line astern. Bethune goes into 4th. Hunter's right there, the first of the Masters. 12-lap race. About a half hour of racing, and it's going to be fast and frenetic. And on the inside, Bethune's making moves already.
As we can see there, coming down towards turn 1, Hill got a great start. So did Cooper Barnes. So the right carts by M2 competition cars are 1 and 2 currently. Emerson Vincent there, sitting well in 3rd.
Hugo Allen up to 4th.
Hugo Allen's up to 4th. Great start from him, the championship leader again, just driving smart. As we see there, someone's actually got escorted wide there. It was Chris White Jr. for James Marshall.
Good spot
in the 88 car. But,
yeah, and he's got himself in trouble there, hasn't he? Because he's now blocked every which way.
Yes, exactly right. But Hugo Allen did a great job there to get up into 4th. He's got Josh Bethune right there.
Oh, we got 2 cars off as well.
We do too. It's a couple of the Race Lab cars. The 8 car of Thomas Mallard and the number 50, the Castrol car of Alice Buckley. So disappointing start to the race for those guys. Hopefully they can get back up to speed. As we've got someone there.
Somebody else going off as well. It's all happening.
Down
that's
there
coming out of double B.
Yes, yeah. That was a crazy start.
Big off, and that's going to cause a safety car for sure.
That's the 888 car there of Blake Knowles.
Blake.
The Wolfbrook Motorsport Foundation Scholarship car. So he's had a big hit there at the front.
He's trying to get out of harm's way, but he's not going to go too far with that. And I'm pretty much predicting that we're going to put a paid to our race at the moment, and they're going to have to come and rescue him. He may get out, he may get round, but round goes the 81 on the outside.
Yeah, Cormac Murphy there on the outside. Probably not the spot you want to be in. He's run off the track there a little bit. So the yellow flag's out. Safety car's been called.
Yeah.
They're going to have to, all the drivers, they're going to have to...
lots of carnage.
So the other right cart's by M2 competition car there.
Lines. Yep.
Sitting off the track. So, yeah, there's been something quite bad's gone on there for that much damage, and to have 2 cars sitting off the track there after the first lap, so a bit disappointing, and obviously disappointing for those guys all involved.
And as you can see, one driver out, the other will be getting out, but as you can see, the Supra, is now ahead of this field. But a great start, both from Hugo Allen, who got up to 4th. Cameron Hill got away well from the pole, and they're just having a look at Hayden. He's still in the car at the moment, and quite rightly, the medical staff just getting his belts off, having a quick chat with him. I don't know what they say to you in that situation. I hope you haven't had that many times, but they kind of give you a sort of, how you doing? Are you feeling all right?
Yeah, it's pretty much just to check up on you, and if you do need any further medical attention, then you need to stay still in the car, make sure in case you are quite injured. But generally, most of the time, it's just to check you're okay and help you out of the car if needed. But yeah, obviously, they're the reigning New Zealand Formula Ford champion, Blake Knowles. Yeah. He's just had a bit of a torrid weekend this weekend, unfortunately, and that certainly is not the way he wants to round off the weekend. But good to see both guys walking, and they seem to be okay. So hopefully they can get out of there safely, and the cars can, those 2 cars there are going to need to be cleared before we get going again.
Let's have a look at the race start again, Ronan. And as I said, Hill got away well, but so too Hugo Allen on the inside here in the black and red, and he makes up a couple of places here.
Yeah, and Simon Hunter there in the 42K, he was actually quite smart. He got on the brakes a little bit more and got in behind Hugo. So rather than trying to go around the outside, as we see there, as we see here, so collision there between, there was a 3rd car involved. So yep. AJ Giddy, the youngest driver in the field there, he was somewhat involved in that. Looked like
here's the second
cars
one.
Got turfed. So we're trying to see here what's happened.
Further back, isn't it? Here we go.
Oh, it had already happened way back. So those guys, and then
I think that was what happened out of Double B, is he hit the back of the car in front. They both went round, or both got stopped, and you can see,
See, there's some serious debris sitting behind that car of Blake Knowles. As we see there, AJ Giddy's car is also going to need to be cleared. He got turfed pretty hard, or involved in that accident there out of turn 4. So the car actually looks okay, and we see there he's actually getting it going. So hopefully he might be able to get himself out of there, and that will save the safety crew a car to have to clear up to be able to get us going green again. Because honestly, Jonathan, I don't want to miss a minute of this. The start was absolutely crazy.
It was cracking, wasn't it?
Never nice to see cars parked on the side of the road, but if we can get some more action and some more good solid racing, then it'll be one to continue watching. But as we can see there, AJ's car's actually crab crawling. We've been called for a red flag.
Now that changes everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
That might actually be the first red flag of the weekend, I think.
I think it is.
That's never a nice thing.
Now, we're only 2 laps in, so will we roll start, or will we try to do a standing start again, you think?
I think we might. Well, to be fair, we're only 2 laps in, so we may potentially see another standing start.
Yeah. Now, AJ Giddy, I spoke to him, just 13 years of age. He's a great kid. And I kind of gave him a chance to tell me what he thinks of the next 10 years ahead, because he's got that long before he's anywhere near to being, kind of looked at seriously. And he said he wants to go to supercars. That's the plan. And I said, well, you've got the time to do it. Yeah. He's certainly made an impression so far. He's a really young, but really good little young kid. And he's certainly making inroads and making gains all the time, and what better way to do it than in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship, to learn racecraft, learn how to race hard but also fair. And obviously disappointing to see him on the side of the road there. That car looked like it had pretty significant damage on the left rear there, as we saw it crab crawling, and it had a lot of smoke coming out of it as well. So not nice. That car's obviously going to need to be cleared by the safety team. So quite a lot of damage to the start of our feature race. And yeah, this has been a pressure cooker since the start of the season at Topor. And as you said, it hasn't had too many crashes so far, but finally pressure on, feature race, everybody vying and everybody getting confident, remember. Racecraft grows in this championship. You know that, Ronan. And each and every driver, week on week, gets more and more confident with their racecraft. And that leads to a little bit more aggression, a little bit more confidence. And sometimes something's got to give.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, just before, that wasn't a pretty looking sight, was it? The pretty sad looking 86 there of Blake Knowles. Unfortunately, it's going to be a fair bit of work to get that car repaired.
As you can see, they've put them line astern, so we will get a rolling start behind the safety car. The safety car will pull off, and then we'll go racing in. Let's have a look at the start. Ronan, what do you notice, if anything?
Oh, they all sort of 6 or 7 cars in the front group there got away pretty well. Everyone just sort of spread out as they got going. Obviously, Hugo Allen and Simon Hunter were pretty close there at the start, but they filed in. And, yeah, obviously Cameron Hill did a great job to take the lead and stay out front there. His teammate Cooper Barnes did a good job to slot into second. And Emerson Vincent sort of maintained. He did lose one spot there, as we see.
Yeah, we're seeing it from behind now. Now you can see how much damage was caused. Yeah. Poor old Mallard's had a rotten weekend, hasn't he, poor old Tom?
Yeah, Thomas Mallard, he showed a lot of speed in pre-season testing, and he was looking pretty promising to begin with at Taupo, but he's just struggled over this weekend. He certainly had it a bit tougher than most, and Alice Buckley obviously getting caught up in that as well. Bit disappointing, as we see there. That's currently what we're looking at for the
restart.
Current restart order. But Hayden Lyons' car is still waiting there for that to get cleared. Hopefully the team there working away trying to get it on the trailer there as fast as possible. But it's obviously it's a bit nerve-wracking when there's a red flag and you have to sit there and wait for everything to be cleared and before you can get going again.
I was going to ask you about that because you've really got to catch yourself emotionally, isn't it? You've got all the adrenaline flowing around you. You've had a game plan. That's gone out the window. Now you've got to come up with another one. Do you want to talk to somebody about it, or do you just want to keep your own thoughts?
Oh, I think it depends what you what makes you feel more comfortable. Obviously, some people will maybe want to have a chat to their engineer, maybe talk about the car a little bit. Obviously, there's not really a whole lot you can do about it, but we can see there the very sad-looking 86 of Blake Knowles getting towed off the track there.
Just give us a chance to get down to the lane with Stephen.
Thanks, Jonathan. Just a little bit of unseen carnage post-race number 2. Hugo Allen, our championship leader, I bumped into him in the lunch break and I said, congratulations, great race this year, but you should see my car. Remember the passing manoeuvre, trying to get around Emerson Vincent? Emerson Vincent gave him a good nudge, basically really gave the right-hand side a wreck and also affected the steering. So his steering is not perfect in this race.
Yeah, it's a good point. I had the same conversation, and I hadn't noticed just how much damage he and Vincent, because if you remember, they got into a real ding-dong between them. One passed the other, then the other passed back. Emerson wasn't giving anything away and came back at him, and of course, like you say, a fair bit of back damage to Hugo's car. So this is going to be a really important race. He's got a good start to Hugo Allen. Besides having that steering issue, he really wants to stay in fourth because that will keep his championship title hopes, and he leads the championship, of course, at the moment, alive and kicking, and he just doesn't want to lose any more than the 303 he's got. He wants to extend that. Baccaroos has 259, Justin Allen 241, and Emerson Vincent coming fast on 277, Bethune on 220. So there's plenty to race for as the marshals look at some of the damage and also talk to the drivers about what's about to unfold.
Yeah, and that's another thing that you sort of consider as well, Jonathan. Obviously, Hugo Allen's in the championship, and it may not look like it, but he's actually in a really, really good position where he is because he's ahead of the 2 guys behind him in the championship and where he is. Emerson Vincent, who's in 4th, is the only one that's a real threat, who is ahead of him there in 3rd at the moment. So good consolidation of points for him.
And do you, in your mindset, start thinking, right, restart, it's going to be rolling start. This return lap is the lap that counts for me because this is where I'm going to have the best chance as we're all crowded together to make some places.
Yeah, well, it's really just about getting right up on the rear bumper of the person ahead of you and making sure you're as close as you possibly can be, that you get a good run onto the front straight. Obviously now the whole, getting the perfect launch and making sure you get away well is not really now relevant, because obviously we're going to be doing a rolling start, so it's not a sandy start. And then obviously from there, it's just making sure that you get a good run out of turn 1 on for the rest of the lap, and you're chasing the car ahead as hard as you can and trying to set up a pass as soon as possible to try and move forward.
Some of the best seats in the house there from the apartments looking over Hampton Downs. And of course, these apartments built specifically for racers and race fans who perhaps keep their car in the garage and get some track days. And you see the same, of course, at Highlands, and it's become a modern factor around the world at racetracks, certainly the new ones, and it certainly is a great way to enjoy your racing, or if you're just coming for a weekend of watching, great place to watch from.
Yeah, exactly right. And as we see here, we're just still waiting away. The officials and the team there running, the volunteers as well, running the...
Yeah, they do a hell of a job, I
event.
may add.
They do a brilliant job. So we're just waiting. Everyone's trying to make sure we're all organised and ready to go. Great to see some smiles on everyone's faces down there. But, yeah, obviously, hopefully we can clear this red flag. The situation will be cleared soon. It obviously wasn't anything too major. It's just obviously there were cars sprawled in different spots around the track, so just trying to get them cleared off so we can go back to green flag conditions and go racing again.
Yeah, and what I love about Hampton, and we're getting a chance to see it, is there's great perches all around the track. I like that shirt too with the motorbikes on. But yeah, there's great places to watch. I just went out by the big tent over there and watched from turn 1 as the Mazdas were coming around. Great view from there, but not a great view for the 888.
No, see there, James Marshall, the boss of James Marshall Motorsport, he's there taking a close look at that car of Blake Knowles's. It looks like it's dropped a couple of feet there in terms of length. It's certainly a little bit shorter there at the front, but yeah, disappointing obviously for Blake, and he's had a pretty hard start to this championship, and it certainly hasn't gotten any better today, unfortunately.
Let's head down to Rusty in the lane.
The boys are being checked in the medical centre. We're here in the paddock for the 86s, and the 35 has just come in as well. Can we, James, firstly come to you? You've had a quick look. Looks bad, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does a bit rusty. It's yeah, definitely quite bent, so we'll have to rip into it and see how bad the damage is.
Okay, can you give us just a little overview of what you've seen so far and what you think's going to need replacing?
Not really, mate. It's had obviously quite a substantial hit on the front there, so hopefully the front of the engine and stuff's okay, and we'll just have to get into it and see what it needs.
Cool. Did the crew get to talk to him, and what did he say?
No, I have no idea what happened, but just that he's okay, and so that's the main thing.
Okay. Jonathan?
Thank you, Greg. And yeah, no question about it. Better that it was in the feature race rather than race 1 to have to fix that during the weekend, so at least they've got some time now to the next round. Not so giddy is AJ, sadly, the number 10 parked up, the youngest competitor, and they still have not yet cleared his car.
No, it's still sitting there, and as we can see there, fair amount of damage in the left hand rear of that car, so that's going to need to spend some time at the panel beaters to get it sorted, and obviously a bit of work to get the drivetrain back together, but still under red flag conditions at the moment, and I think we're going to shoot back down to Rusty down there in the pits and get a bit more of an update.
Ronan, Blake Knowles has just wandered out. Firstly, you've been checked over by the medicos who do a great job here at the track. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm sweet. It was a big one, but yeah, no, I'm lucky to walk away.
Yeah. Can you, if you can, take us through it, what happened, how you saw it, and how, I mean, it looks massive, mate, the 888, doesn't it, the damage to it?
Yeah, it's definitely disappointing, but yeah, just on the outside going through that corner, and then Hayden in front, I don't know if he got pushed off or he went wide or something, but a massive dust cloud, and rolled out of it because I couldn't see anything, and then came out the other side and there was cars in there, so yeah.
Do you feel a little sore at all, and if so, what's a bit tender?
No, not really, obviously. But shooken up a little bit, but yeah, no, I'm sweet.
Appreciate you talking to us.
Cheers, thank you.
18-year-old apprentice signwriter from Prebleton in Christchurch. And former karter, and as you mentioned, Formula 4 champion.
Yeah, and obviously it was one of those situations there, hearing from Blake, you know, there's not a whole lot you can do when you can't actually see ahead of you, and then to come through that, and that probably have that sickening feeling of just seeing a car ahead of you and not really having anywhere to go. As we see there, the 35 car of Hayden Lyons, pretty significant damage to the back of that one. It's, you know, the rear bumper seems to still be relatively intact, but it doesn't really indicate actually how bad that car is underneath. And it's, yeah, done a fair bit of damage to the rear crash bar and the exhaust there. Sure, it's probably done damage further inside that car as well that we can't quite see. But, you know, that's the thing. That's the great thing about having, you know, such professional teams in this championship. You know, they get to work and they know what they need to do to get these cars going again. As we see here, the field's
heading off. And Ronan, tell me your systems check at this point. We're going to start behind the safety car. You can see them weaving from side to side. We always know that that is a sign of trying to get mechanical grip and heat into the tyres. Presumably do the same with the brakes. Do you do a quite heavy brake just to get the brakes up to temperature as well?
Yeah, it's just about getting the car warmed up again. Obviously, they sat there for a little while. You know, obviously they radiate heat after they've done 2 flying laps. But you want to make sure everything's back up to temperature. Get the car, the engine, the brakes and the tyres. They're the critical ones really to make sure. So that when we do go racing again, which we're going to very shortly, that you don't have to think twice when you get on that brake pedal and go to fire the car into turn 1 to restart the race.
Yeah, another part of this, obviously you saw it come up there, lap 3 of 12. So the race actually, even though we're behind the safety car, continues. So we won't go racing at least until lap 4. So you'll have 8 laps to get it right. So we're back down to race 1 in terms of laps that we will race under. And as we mentioned before, you really want to get the restart right. A little bit of damage to the number 8 of Thomas Mallard, but he's still out there. So too is Buckley.
Yeah, and that's the positive, isn't it, Jonathan? You know, obviously there's not a positive situation, but the silver lining out of this is that, you know, we're a 12-lap race. If this had happened in the 8-lap race, we'd only have 4 laps to go.
Yes.
So it's fortunate, like you said, it's in terms of numbers of laps to go when we go green again, we're going to have effectively what we had of a race 1 distance. So that's definitely the positive out of all of this, but, you know, it's really sad to see, obviously, a couple of cars stricken on the side of the road there to, you know, begin with. And, yeah, really, really good and thankful that the brilliant team here at Hampton Downs International Circuit for the Alliance Services Hampton Downs International, that they were able to clear that as quick as possible, and we can get going to green flag conditions here for the final race this weekend of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship.
Yeah, and the other part of it, obviously, if you can't get the laps in, you hope to do it in a certain time, and we're told that we're going to get plenty of time. We're going to give them at least 20 minutes of racing, and that should get us pretty close, if not to the 12-lap factor. So therefore, we will still have a good race, and the officials done a great job of clearing it up very quickly indeed. But let's get back now to the restart. Cameron Hill will lead the field. Cooper Barnes will be chomping at the bit to get past. Emerson Vincent, already a winner. Hugo Allen will try to drive forward despite that steering and damage to the side of the car. Josh Bethune could make a pop at Hugo Allen. He knows all too well it's going to be potentially between those two when we come down to the latter stages of this championship. Simon Hunter, the master, spoke to him last night. Here we go. We are now ready to go racing again, and away goes Cameron Hill, but Cooper Barnes is right there with him. And then line astern, the top 4, diving into turn 1.
There, Josh Bethune's driven around all of them on the outside there. He's gone back past Hugo Allen. He's run off the road a little bit there. Hugo Allen's arguing it, though. He's not going to let him get away with it too quickly. As we go down towards turn 2 here, Simon Hunter there in the 42 car. He's on the outside. What's he going to do down here? Is he going to try and drive around the outside of them? The top 3, they're all bundled up together there.
Hugo Allen stuck on the inside, but that's where he wanted to be, and he'll try and get drive now. Yeah, he does, and he's up to 3rd. Hugo Allen makes up a spot, or does he? He's hung out to dry on the outside, and the 30 is defending. Vincent, we know, can defend around that corner. He did it last time out. Hugo Allen makes another lunge at the inside on the right-hander. What a great restart. And here comes Hugo Allen to take 3rd, does he?
But he's not going to be on the inside for the double B corner here, and he's going to get hung out to dry by Emerson Vincent. Those two, they were arguing pretty hard in race 2 earlier this morning.
Bethune's going with him.
Bethune's trying to go around the outside there as well. Hugo Allen's out the dirt. He's not going to hold up and let them get away with it as he goes back down the inside there. How good's this racing?
Excellent.
Hayden Baccaris, the pole sitter and race 1 winner from round 1 at Taupo, he's also in the mix there as we go down back down to the hairpin here to commence another lap.
Well, this is excellent in terms of close racing, but fast and clear, steady racing. But out front, Cameron Hill got the lead he wanted and is pulling away from Cooper Barnes. Vincent, Allen and Bethune fight it out. Hunter just behind in 6. Baccaroos now up to 7. Potter 8. Townsend 9th. Done a good job as Harry Townsend to recover. Smoke flying up everywhere as cars locking up just slightly. Or is that a problem with one of the cars? And it is. The 73 of Harry Townsend's pulling out.
Yeah, Harry Townsend, 3rd place in race 1. He's got an issue of some sort. That's really disappointing, and not a great way for him to finish his weekend after such a strong start there. Great qualifying result. As we see there, Cormac Murphy and Caleb Byers coming through turn 1, arguing it out there for over the 16th place. But as we come back down the back straight here, Hugo Allen chasing these 3 guys at the front. Emerson Vincent there in 3rd place. Cooper Barnes and Cameron Hill, they haven't really changed too much. It's about the only thing that hasn't changed over the first few laps is the first 2 positions.
There was a report of Harry Townsend having a leak on the pre-grid, if you will, when they were line astern, and it's turned into terminal, I think, because he's not going anywhere. The hood is up, as you can see, the bonnet right up. They're underneath the car, and this is going to look fairly terminal for Harry, who was on the podium yesterday.
Yeah, really disappointing for him, and I think we're going to go down to the lane and hear from Greg Rust.
Running a theory at this point, because they're still obviously surveying Harry Townsend's car, but they think this is a diff-related issue, so maybe a seal of some kind.
Yeah, and that will definitely, like I said, put paid to his hopes of finishing this race. But meanwhile, it continues. We're almost halfway around this race. We're coming out of Porsche into the last complex, and it is Cameron Hill. We'll take them on to lap 6 of the 12, and look at him, line astern, the whole field almost.
Great to see them still so close after the first couple of laps of this restart, and we keep going around. As you see there, Thomas Mallard and Ellis Buckley, they were involved in that first couple of corners melee, and they've done a good job to round out and chase back up to the pack and try and gain some positions. As we see here, Hugo Allen and Josh Bethune, they're looking pretty menacing there in 4th and 5th place.
Yeah, Bethune wants by, doesn't he? And he wants by quickly, and just behind him, Bethune is waiting, and he goes very wide indeed. But the 17 and the 32 are the men to watch. Also keep an eye on Justin Allen in the 99 Napa car in 11th. He'll want to make sure that his 3rd place in the championship is secure. Here comes Allen!
And that's deep, and that he sold Emerson Vincent, the dummy there, Hugo Allen. Beautiful racecraft. He's now managed to get the spot done, and he did a good job to really enthuse that. Is there, Josh Bethune's now given Emerson Vincent a nudge there. He's now trying to replicate what Hugo Allen did. That was a beautiful pass. He sort of went to the outside. He made Emerson follow him across the track, and then right at the last second there, he braked a little bit early, cut back across and got the move done. So good move there from Hugo Allen as he's now setting off after Cooper Barnes. So again, that trend that we saw at the first round of his car coming alive towards the end of the race there. He's done a brilliant job to put that car in a good position there. Now into the podium positions.
Cameron Hill now has a 0.6 of a lead. It doesn't sound much, but you can see physically it's enough to just give him a bit of breathing space as the others behind him fight hard. Cooper Barnes under massive pressure now from the championship leader as they dive out of Porsche and down towards the last right-hander. Still very close.
And, in doing that and passing Emerson Vincent, Hugo Allen displaced another one of his championship rivals. So he's now, out of those sort of first 4 or 5 cars in the championship points, he's ahead of them all. So that's exactly what he needed to do in terms of increasing his championship lead. But he's still got 2 cars ahead of him. Cameron Hill's doing a brilliant job out front there. He's managed to open a gap up to Cooper Barnes, the Australian, who's doing a brilliant job there in 2nd place. If we look a little bit further back, Simon Hunter, who started 6th, he's actually dropped down to 8th. So
here comes the 32.
To dry. Exactly right. Josh Bethune, he's doing everything he can to try and get past Emerson Vincent.
And I said watch out for Justin Allen. He's just got up to 10th place, but if you take the live driver standings, Justin would be the one to lose out. He dropped to 4th. Hayden Baccaris would move up to 2nd on 304, and 32, that's Josh Bethune. He would move up to 3rd place, but the way he's driving and the way he's knocking them down like Skittles, he's up to 4th now. It could change the championship dramatically by the end of this one. Good driving by Hayden Backroos, and as you mentioned, winner of the first race of the season.
And Mason Potter and Simon Hunter were arguing real hard down there at turn 2. Hunter actually, as we see
John
there,
Penny.
That's really disappointing. John Penny's got a serious issue with that car there. He's managed to bring it to a stop and try to put it in a safe space there. That's really disappointing. He's had a tough weekend so far, and that's not the way you want to cap it off.
You know, 86 is so tough on the mind. John Penny came flying into the pits after the first practice, leading the way, and, you know, literally skipping into the pits. And now here he is out of the final race of the weekend. So things can go that well and then that badly in motor racing in the blink of an eye, quite literally.
100%. We know, unfortunately, how this game can go sometimes, Jonathan, as we see there. Coming off the corner there, Chris White Jr. and Jet Murray, one of the young Australians there, fighting it out a little bit further back.
Here's Justin Allen, look.
Yep, and he was the race 1 winner. Hasn't quite had it his way so far in this race, but trying to move forward.
Let's head down to Greg Rust.
Just a quick update just for you guys, just in relation to Hayden Lyons. I've been to Motorsport Rescue, to the clinic out the back here. He's been released. When he first came in, he was complaining of a little soreness in his back, but as he gradually, you know, as the anxiety and all of the stress around the initial incident subsided, so too did the pain, and they've released him. They think he's okay.
That's great news. Now we're starting to get some good times in. The 2 leaders doing 1.50 in that last lap. Cameron Hill and Cooper Barnes, the 2 youngsters. Hugo Allen now up to 3rd. Josh Bethune still in the hunt. Emerson Vincent drops to 5th, but he'll need to channel his inner Liam Lawson and get his elbows out, just as Liam does in Formula 1, because Emerson getting some mentoring from that man this weekend. And Hayden Backroos in 6th position and wanting to try and go forward to see if he can get 2nd in the championship at the end of the day.
Yeah, and as we've seen there, Jonathan, the Hugo Allen championship leader, he is going to work. He's managed to put Josh Bethune in his rearview mirrors a little bit, and he's working pretty hard on the back of Cooper Barnes there. So he's obviously, after he had a pretty tough start to the weekend, but again, this is what we continue to reiterate. When you're fighting for a championship and you're trying to extend your gap, even if you have a bad result like he did in qualifying, he was a little bit further down there in 14th, but he's at the end of this weekend, he's now fighting for a podium, and that's what you have to be doing to try and consolidate your position. As we see there, Emerson Vincent and Mason Potter having a good battle there, one of the Syndicate Motorsport cars, and they're still going at it, going down that straight. Simon Hunter's trying to say something about this, as he's now looking towards the outside there, as he's now filed back in there. So a bit of a battle going on between Hayden Backroos, Emerson Vincent, Mason Potter, and Simon Hunter.
I asked about Simon Hunter's sort of motivation for wanting to come in and race with all these teenagers, because of course he's a master, did Formula Ford, and he just said, you know what, I just want to test myself against these youngsters. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and multiple national
Now, this
champion.
is the final lap. It's updated, and that's a timing thing. Basically, we said we've got to get up to 2:17 overall, and so this is the final lap, Ronan, and it's all out for the win now.
Exactly right, and all the teams will be updating the drivers, letting them know that, as we see there, Hugo Allen again,
Go on!
firing it up the inside to take 2nd place on the final lap there, but from Cooper Barnes, and that's a bit surprising there, Jonathan. I thought Cooper Barnes would have done a bit better job of defending that and maybe trying to cover off Hugo Allen a bit more.
You know, as we count back at the end of the season and look back, if Hugo Allen wins the championship, it'll be times like this that he'll be remembering, because these are the points that make such a difference just on that last lap, to make those points up and to make it decisive. And I certainly will try to remember that move, because that could be the difference it makes.
Absolutely. You've got to pinpoint moments like this in the championship, and he's done a great job, and he's managed to move up there into second place. There's still a big gaggle of cars behind these guys going on, but so far Hugo Allen's been the only one that's had something to say for these Right Karts by M2 competition cars. They're 1st, 3rd and 4th there, as the top 4 have just managed to drive away from everybody else.
Side-by-side action on the last lap. Hugo Allen's going to pick up the fastest lap, a 1:54.85, and he's going to take 2nd place if he stays where he is. Meanwhile, out front, Cameron Hill.
He's lost a spot to Cooper Barnes.
What happened?
Something's happened there to Hugo Allen.
Yes.
He's maybe missed a gear or something like that.
We've had some gearbox issues as the weekend weekend's gone on. Justin Allen also had a problem in race 2, but he has indeed lost that second place. But it's going to be a win for Cameron Hill in the 43. Takes the checkered flag at Hampton Downs, and Hill does it in style for M2 competition.
As we see there, what a race that was. Look at all the cars still flurrying across the finish line there. Great job there from Cameron Hill. Right karts by M2 competition. 3 cars in the top 4. That was, yeah, certainly a pretty professional and standout performance from that team. And Hugo Allen coming home there, splitting those 3 cars there in third. But yeah, I'll be interested. I really want to know what happened to him there on that back straight there. He did a beautiful job getting past Cooper Barnes, and then to lose that position going down the back straight was a bit odd.
And if you're watching at home, right karts, and you're watching with your son and he wants to try it out, well, get in touch with these boys because they will take you all the way through. So, confirmation, Cameron Hill climbs that hill at the top of Hampton to win ahead of Cooper Barnes in second. Hugo Allen tries he might, just lost out there. He had second place coming into the final complex, but didn't make it. He takes third. Bethune fourth, Baccaru's fifth, good result. Mason Potter sixth, Vincent drops to seventh, Hunter eighth, Blinko ninth, and Justin Allen rounds out the top 10. Arthur Braun in 11th. Then it's Lachlan Evanett, the winner earlier today. Jet Murray, Chris White, Byers, Cormac Murphy in 16th, Alice Buckley 17th, Mallard, Malin, Morton, and All West 21st. A little further down, John Penny, Townsend, not a good weekend. He had to pull out with that leak. Lines, AJ Giddy involved in that incident, as was Blake Knowles. So, highlights of the race, and it was plenty to talk about, plenty of highlights. Away Cameron Hill went from the get-go. Hugo Allen had a good start, the championship leader, and started to make his way through. Then we got into drama. 3 cars involved here. That would eventually bring out a red flag. Several incidents, and you can see it from behind here. A bit of a concertina as the 2 big cars and the big off. Blake Knowles getting the worst of it. AJ Giddy also involved. We got the restart, and away we went. Cameron Hill got away well, and Cooper Barnes, but Hugo Allen, how about this remove? In he goes. That's textbook. Up to third. And he wasn't done yet. He'd get up to second. Meanwhile, Justin Allen trying to make his way forward. Did get into the top 10, and that will help his cause. Meanwhile, the 32 of Josh Bethune fighting it hard with the number 30. And Emerson Vincent having none of it. But Hugo Allen wasn't done. Look at this. Second place. But amazingly, we thought he had that, but it wasn't to change before the end of the race, because back he came. But no such problems for Cameron Hill. The M2 man does it in style, taking the checkered flag here in the feature race at Hampton Downs. Well done. Representing Northland Toyota, and he too, an elite academy driver. It's been so good for so many young Kiwi drivers, and out of the car he gets.
Certainly has, Jonathan. The Elite Motorsport Academy of New Zealand, the program's seen so many successful drivers carry through it. As we see there, Cameron Hill, he's pretty stoked about that one. Hugging
Nice
it out with the
sportsmanship,
teammate. Yeah, with Cooper Barnes, his teammate. But yeah, obviously the championship leader, Hugo Allen, took the fastest lap of the race and rounded it off there with a podium. So good return of the weekend there. As you can see there, the team, Robbo from On the Pace driver training down there. He's worked with a lot of successful drivers over the years, and obviously doing a great job with the team down there at Right Karts by M2 competition.
Yeah, I spoke to Cooper at the beginning of the weekend, and he was kind of in the mood to go racing hard, and it's turned out well for him. But what an inspiration to maybe a 10 or 12-year-old looking to try to do this, watching these youngsters go about and set the pace. Then we got a 13-year-old, didn't have a good day, did AJ Giddy today, but he'll be back. But it's a chance for Cooper Barnes and Cameron Hill to celebrate. There's Hugo Allen in the background. He too is got a skip in his step, because it was a good result for him as he maintains his championship lead. Let's head down to Stephen McIver as he's going to talk to our top 3.
Thank you, mate. Cameron Hill, fine performance. Hello again. Nice to see you back. I think somewhere along the line ahead of the series, you said smoothest, cleanest, fastest wins. Feel like that today?
Yeah, for me, it feels pretty good to be P1 after Taupo and everything that's happened. Yeah, pretty happy, pretty stoked.
A lot of people are finding it hard to get speed out of their 86s this weekend. Where did you find the speed?
I think definitely, I'm not too sure, but in the long corners and the straights, I'm feeling really fast. just got to say thank you to Shano a lot. He knows how to set up a car. It's awesome.
Nice job, mate.
Thank you.
And in P2, Cooper Barnes. Well done, Cooper. Welcome to the fair country of ours. You'd be happy with that?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, that's for sure. 1-2 for the team, super good.
All right, mate, well played.
Yeah, thanks.
And in third position, Hugo Allen, who still holds the championship lead in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. 2 cracking dive moves with a car that was a bit bent.
Yeah, it wasn't the most ideal weekend, especially the start to the weekend, but qualifying didn't really go our way, and I probably didn't do the best job either. But we changed some things up. I changed my driving style a little bit for yesterday, made 8 spots, and then today just keep going forward. So I think we were probably the fastest car in that last race, and the car felt really strong. It's just a shame about the red flag because it shortened the race a little bit. And then I got past Cooper into turn 2, but saw the yellow flag, so I thought I'd better just let him back through because no point getting a 10-second penalty or whatever and finishing 10th. So
Still top of the pile at the end of the weekend.
yeah, it's just racking up the points, isn't it? As I say, it's not ideal how we started the weekend, but how we finish is the way we want to keep going. And I just can't thank Kiwi Tarp and Kevets and Cream Insurance enough for giving me the possibility to do this. I'm really grateful. Yeah.
Well played. Let's get onto the podium, shall we? This is the podium for race number 3, round number 2 in the Bridgestone 86 Championship. Trophies today will be presented by Mark Keane, the wholesale manager of consumer tyres for Bridgestone New Zealand. And in third position, Hugo Allen. In second position, Cooper Barnes. And in first position, Cameron Hill. So that's the race 3 in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Gentlemen, I'll ask you to go move yourselves off the podium because then we will present the round winners. And these are the round winners, again presented by Mark Keane, the wholesale manager of the consumer tyres for Bridgestone New Zealand. Your round 2 rookie winner is Cameron Hill. Your round 2 Masters winner is Simon Hunter. He's rushing, he's coming. Suddenly realised he's getting a podium, which is fantastic. Come on, Simon, round 2 Masters winner. And your round 2 Bridgestone 86 round winner for round number 2 of the Bridgestone GR86 Championship is Cameron Hill. That completes another magnificent weekend in the Bridgestone GR86 Championship. Now it's time for the Shell Lubricants Super V8s.